Hi Cancer, welcome to your timeless general reading. Today I have the Star Child Tarot for you. So let's see what messages come out for you. No, put that back. All right. So the first card that came out was Five of Wands. So this is, I wasn't sure what to make of this because the image is a bit different from the traditional image. I would maybe get mental conflict, but there's definitely conflict, but it seems like a bit of stubbornness. Then there's Three of Crystals. So I'm actually kind of getting like conflict with co-workers or colleagues, someone that you kind of have a less personal relationship with. But yeah, Three of Swords is here. This is the Three of Swords came out with Gemini too. So there's for some reason I'm getting pride, like wounded pride here. The way that she's kind of protecting that little planet seems like there is a bit of pride. Then there's perspective, which is like a hangman energy. And then the Hierophant. So that's interesting. The Hierophant is also holding something, and the Three of Swords is protecting something. So it's almost like whoever you're dealing with is being very open and vulnerable with you. Like pride is not an issue for them. And it's almost like triggering you. It's like you respect them less because they're not motivated by pride or they don't have pride issues. This is very interesting. But it's like, it is very, I feel the energy in this card is, it is very important to you. Pride. But there's something deeper there that maybe you don't really want to acknowledge, like where your pride comes from. And that's probably why perspective is out here, and Hierophant. It's like, what is it? There seems to be this struggle and maybe dealing with people who are not like you and are like you at the same time. Maybe not necessarily the same people. I think, yeah. I don't know if I get from here like these are mirroring, meaning like opposite or the same, I guess it's a bit mirrored. So it's like you're having a hard time with people that don't think like you do, and in fact think the opposite. Like the vulnerable, not motivated by pride person versus you who's protective of your pride. And when I mean pride, I think there's a lot of negative connotation with the word pride. And yeah, pride can be excessive. It's apparently a sin or whatever. But what actually motivates pride, like pride in your work, pride in your accomplishments, you can be proud, but why is pride negative? To be proud is not a negative thing, but to have pride seems to be a negative thing. It doesn't really make sense. It's all in balance, how much pride you have, how much does your pride or your well-being depend on your accomplishments and how others, because at the end of the day, maybe pride's internal, having someone being proud of you is like external validation. Who knows? Let's see what I don't know if I want to look at some of these cards. I almost fell out. Yeah, let me look at the bottom. Six of Wands. So that is another bit of pride here, and there's a mirroring. I mean, this deck is full of like mirroring too. Yeah, it's almost as if, you know, people who are not like you being recognized for their accomplishments is becoming a struggle, like a mental conflict with you. Probably because you've been told your whole life that you can only succeed by behaving this way. And, you know, maybe you really take that to heart when someone tells you, this is how we do things. This is how these things get accomplished. And you're finding it hard to adapt to anyone who does things differently from you. Yeah, Ace of Crystals and Nine of Crystals are down here. 10 of Crystals. Justice, okay. Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense looking at these cards. Because it's like you have had a lot of success doing things your way, but you're having a hard time, especially if people aren't succeeding yet, you're having a hard time accepting that things can be accomplished any other way than the way that you were taught and the way that you use to gain success. And it's almost as if maybe you feel like your pride matters less, which maybe it does. I mean, yeah. Justice, Transformation, the Emperor, the Sun, Temperance. There's all these major arcana. Oh man. Yeah, there's so many major arcana. Justice, Transformation, which is the Death card, the Emperor, the Sun, Temperance, Awakening. So I feel like that's why this Five of Wands energy is so is a small energy. This is like a small part of you and who you are. It seems like a lingering lesson for you after like a lifetime of figuring things out, of becoming successful, of working on yourself, to just be hung up on something as simple as this person doesn't do things the way I think they should. I fear they won't succeed. And maybe that kind of threatens you a bit. I think you probably have to let go of that. I think you probably have to let go of the idea that no one can succeed unless they do things the way that you do. Because I'm not sensing this comes from a place of malice. You know, this doesn't come from a place of no one's good enough. It's literally like understanding the way something works and just having a hard time when people don't seem as willing to follow what you're telling them or follow what they'd be told in the first place. But you can't control what other people do. You can't control what other people do. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. So I feel like it has to be a lesson for you right now to let people either fail on their own or succeed on their own. Succeed or fail the way they want to fail. You know, I don't feel like it. Maybe you kind of feel it reflects upon you. You know, the what the group does, because it's Three of Crystals here. Maybe you think what the group does, well or not well, reflects badly on you. So that's probably another reason why you're pretty determined or pretty set that people not doing things the way you think they should is a negative thing. I've got the Lenormand deck. Let's see. Oh man, I kind of feeling these birds will come out. Look at the birds. 12, and that's 7 of Diamonds. I might read it again. But this is kind of about like gossip and talking. So maybe you're afraid of other people's opinions. When you're part of a group that is not doing well, that kind of ruins your image too. I don't know this one. 1 and 9 of Hearts. I'll look in the book real quick. But I kind of get the idea of sort of either accomplished or... Oh man. Dang. Accomplished or very driven person. Yeah, ambitious. I mean, you might have been that person in the past that was trying to do things differently. And maybe it was a bit harder for you until you learned to integrate other methods. These are mice. 23. 7 of clubs. The bear. Wow, it didn't focus. I'm sorry. This bear's got a fish. 10 of clubs. And then this 4, King of Hearts. Well, that's like King of Cups, so that's you. And the bottom is 28 of spades. These are the... What is number 1? I never even figured out how to use these cards. Oh, okay. So 1 is the mail rider, the bard. News, approach, delivery, messages. So I think this might be telling you your delivery needs to be worked on, like your methods of communication. Like if you're really trying to convince people for their own good, be more constructive about it. I mean, the bard isn't like... The bard has charisma. For the house, protect and stabilize. Stability, protection, right there. And it can have an association with an older man. Because so I don't use these cards that much. I need to like read more about them, but I have a really hard time doing that. Okay, the birds. Make sure I'm right about the birds. Songbirds. Yep. Communication. Yeah. So there's quite a bit about communication here. The way you interact with other people, the way that you communicate with other people is pretty important here. Yep. More about protection with this bear. Strength. A hairy man. Yeah. And this is also a bit about like gathering abundance too. See, 20. The meadow garden, community. Yeah. Socializing. So maybe you need to also socialize more if you want to. Endear people to you. Mice. Lost theft. Thief. Self-critical. Hoarders. Oh man. This is interesting. It says you may be facing an energy vampire when this comes up. You might have to investigate that. Okay. Well, anyway, that's your reading, Cancer. Thank you.